A professional impressionism artist made his home and started his successful art school in New Mexico. And no, it's not in Santa Fe or Taos. It's in a sleepy southern New Mexico town with a population of only about 150 people. David Farrell's work is found in numerous collections throughout the U.S. and Europe, and after visiting the town of Hillsboro, New Mexico back in the 80s on a painting trip, he decided to stay with his son for good.
Hillsboro is a real friendly town. It's very inclusive, and it's always been, welcoming to new people. I decided that Hillsboro would be a great place to raise a kid. There's something special about New Mexico, too. It's a great painter's paradise.
Living here in Hillsboro, Farrell spends a lot of his time driving around the countryside, painting landscape scenes like this one.
This area is really special, and it's kind of undiscovered, and I think that I like that about it. As you mature as a person, you mature as an artist. And I think this place to me is always stimulating. I can always look out at the hills no matter what and be stimulated by it. And I find myself never bored. There's so many things I want to paint. I'm thinking if I had another 60 years, maybe I could paint all the things I want to paint. So I'm never bored. I try to always, look at things differently. And that's part of the way I teach and the way I paint is really always being open to what nature gives you.
Farrell decided to open the Black Range School of Art in Hillsboro about 3 years ago because he says he feels passionate about passing along everything he knows about impressionism painting and sculpting.
What I was taught as a painter and a sculptor was especially with painting, was to try to really get the essence of color and light and nature. And it's kind of the truth of color and light. And that's the same way with form as far as sculpture. You're trying to get the essence and the structure, the truth of what's really happening in realism.
So far, students like Garland Bills and Shelley Wanner say they feel fortunate to learn from Farrell in a small town environment.
Being right in the environment and trying to paint the real colors that exist in nature here, which David is so good at. We're very lucky in this area to have an artist like David. There are a lot of artists in New Mexico, but David is exceptional. So to be under his tutelage and to be with these other people that are so excited to learn how to paint, to practice painting, to work at it, I couldn't ask for anything better in my retirement.
I think it's really a special place and a great opportunity for people who feel drawn to the impressionist style of color and light in their artwork and know that there's something missing in their artwork and that David can help unlock that for them.
According to Farrell, his biggest challenge as a teacher is to get students out of their head when they paint.
The hardest thing about teaching students this way of painting is to try to get them from thinking about what they're seeing and really just abandoning that security need to think it out, because as soon as they start thinking, they've already lost the sense of what they're seeing.
The art of seeing. David teaches us the art of seeing, and that is slowly unlocking for me. I see a lot more color and shadows, and I understand the relationships between objects and the atmosphere.
Explained Shelley Wanner, who is currently also enjoying horse sculpting with the other Black Range School of Art students. The students began creating sculptures of Maud, a 25-year-old rescue horse. Maud's owner, Rebecca Porter, a resident of Hillsboro, says she couldn't help joining the class when she saw how much fun the students were having.
I was just going to be the horse handler, but Maud didn't really need anybody to handle her. She just stood. She loves the social aspect of it. And it just looked so much fun that, I don't know, maybe after 2 classes I just couldn't keep my hands off the clay, and so I have a clay sculpture that I'm hoping one day to finish of her. It's very therapeutic because like on a day like today, the clay is very soft and you just are able to push it around and show the movement, and it's just very gratifying.
Farrell says teaching the painting and sculpting classes part-time has been very rewarding for him, but what he'll always love the most about living in Hillsboro is the time he spends in isolation, trying to capture the colors of the surrounding hills.
Painting comes first. It's really, it's what I do all day. It's what I think about all day. And I do feel fortunate. I feel fortunate that I've been able to make a living as a painter. But it's something that you become so dedicated. I'm pretty much miserable if I'm not doing it. So I don't. It chooses you, I think. And that's what I tell my students, that it'll choose you.
For KRWG, I'm Jared Andersen.